Hey, Tony.
Hey.
How are you?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. It's a
You know
pleasure.
it. Me too.
What's good? What's new with you?
Oh, a lot of skating. Kind of found my way back to skating normally after breaking my leg, so I'm trying to enjoy that as much as I can now because I finally feel like I'm back in the groove.
It was like the femur was in half.
Yeah.
How that happened?
Just getting careless with my McTwist. Didn't have enough speed and didn't care, and then I cared immediately.
That's a heavy fracture right there.
Yeah, it was rough. It was pointing the other way.
That's heavy. Thank God I have never broke a bone like that. And yeah, when I saw what happened to you, I was like, most people tell you probably will never skate again.
Yeah, I never thought that. I just knew that my skating would be hindered, but I tried to get back too soon, and then I fucked up the recovery. So I had to get my leg reset again.
How far ago was that?
It was 2.5 years ago is when I broke it, and then about 1.5 years ago is when I got it reset and fixed, and that's when I've been on the right trajectory since. So I was skating today. I learned a new trick today. I did.
Which one?
Shove it to backside feeble, coming backside. It's something I've been trying for weeks, and it was funny because I kept looking at my watch, going, "I gotta leave soon if I'm gonna make it to Cheetos," and then that forced me to get into it.
We did it.
Hell yeah!
I was part of it.
I was 5 minutes late. For the record, I was 5 minutes.
He
late.
was on time, but I was part of the trick.
Yeah,
I was in Tony's
I'll send you the video.
Fuck yeah, that's amazing. So like, now that you get to this point, like you have created tricks, you have done it all. You just out of love all the skate every day.
It's always been.
Because I saw you last time when I went to your podcast. Before that, you were skating. I was like, this guy still can compete.
Thank you.
You were like, watching you on TV is one thing, right? I watch you since I'm a little kid. I watch you on the internet, on the TV, everything. But watching you live, now is when you understand what Berman means.
I appreciate
because you're
it.
fucking flying, and I'm like, from downstairs that ramp, it's scary.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing about half pipe skating, vert skating, is when people see it live, it changes their perception of it, because people see it on TV and it looks crazy and you're flying around, but they don't realize the true height and the power that it takes to ride that and how much impact there is.
It's a different animal. Like
Yeah.
watching it live, it was like, whoa, humans can get that up, land on the skate, and it's, the landing is so smooth that it's almost like effortless. But then you're like, not many humans can do that type of stuff.
No, it's funny though. You see, especially when you see kids starting to skate, and they're kind of drawn to that style of skating. You see it almost immediately, where they are pulled in by flying, and so was I. And then they'll do anything they can to get to that point of flying.
When you started skating, you start like on regular street, like tricks, or you were on a pool right away?
I first started just with using it as transportation to get to school, and then went to the skate park for the first time with my friend, and that's when I saw the possibilities. I saw people flying, and I just said, this is it. I want to do this. And then I completely rearranged my life to try to get to the park as much as possible, which meant that sometimes, like, my brother would drive down from college and take me once a week. My mom got off early work on Wednesdays, so I'd make sure, like, Wednesday I'm going to the park right after school. It was just stuff like that.
So it was you figured out the scales around other people so you can make it to the park a few times a week.
Yes, that was the priority, was getting a ride to the skate park. Yes.
Who were the big names when you were like at that point?
That's a good question. The bigger, well, it's kind of the end of the Dogtown and Z-Boys era. So there was a somewhat of a new generation, but Tony Alva was definitely the number one name that everyone knew at the time. Steve Alva, Steve Olson, Dwayne Peters, Eddie O'Gara, Dave Andrecht. I mean, those were kind of the heroes.
And they were like around you that in that time you were able to see them
A couple
live?
of them, yeah. A couple of them lived in San Diego, so I'd see them at the park.
That's crazy. Growing up seeing those guys will definitely project you to do things like that.
It does, but it's funny looking back on it because skating was really not popular. And I didn't know, but the park was already at risk of closing because no one was skating. So when I would see those guys, they're the only people that I would see sometimes.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Like, they're the only other skaters of the park. And it was like...
So it wasn't like
there's
today,
the pro.
like 20, 30 people skating at the same time.
Not rarely.
And they were really aggressive back then, for what I understand.
Oh yeah, I got snaked all the time. Yeah, all the time.
Like it's not like it wasn't like a normal part. Like everyone's welcome. It's like you're not part of us. Beat it.
Yeah. So the park I grew up at is called Oasis Skate. It was called Oasis Skate Park, and the main bowl where everyone skated was always a snake session. It was. I mean, like I said, sometimes it was kind of crowded, but even 6 people made it crowded.
Right.
But there was a bowl next to it that wasn't as good that they didn't ride. So that's where I learned all my tricks. And so I would be in that bowl by myself every day.
So you got the extra time.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like that bowl was any good. It was just more that, oh, but I'm not going to get, I'm going to get a turn.
Right.
So I'm riding this, yeah.
That's smart to go into that one. And like from that time, how long take to like start like competing or like kind of like being like, wait, this is kind of like my thing. I'm getting good at this. I'm going to do it.
I started competing kind of immediately because that was the only way that you got to hang out with other skaters from other areas. So it was sort of a gathering. But I didn't do well in the competitions. I in fact, my first contest, I placed second to last out of like 40 people.
Wow.
But I started to learn to calm my nerves. I started to learn to do some tricks that other people couldn't do. And then I started moving my way up pretty quickly. And so I would say within the first year, I started improving way faster.
I mean, because skating is something that you do on your own. Like, if you put in time on,
yeah,
you're just gonna get better regardless.
Yeah, and that's all. Like I said, I got out of school, go to the park until they closed.
That's amazing. We used to do the same thing, but I was more focused on hanging out. All my friends were skating and doing well for themselves, and I was just like, I like more to watch them doing crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And celebrate. I was more like the cheerleader.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck yeah, that's amazing. Okay, you go. I know, I'm good. I just watch.
Yeah.
If I fight breaking, I got you.
That's good.
But,
that's a good friend to have.
But like, I never like, I love it.
I think skate that is a perfect example of skate culture, is that people just love the vibe of it.
It's
and
amazing.
even if they're not skating themselves, or even if they're not good at it, they're still welcome.
Exactly. Like we will ride 10, 20 miles to get where we want to go all day. So during your cardio is crazy. Like I would do like the basic stuff here and there, but I never had like, oh, I want to be a professional in this.
Mm-hmm.
But the circle was just like having fun all day.
Yeah.
Eating snacks, talking shit,
Yeah.
seeing your best friend fly. And I was just like, go. I was like, you fell? Do it again. I was like the psychologist behind it. They were like, oh, you know what? I'm over this. I'm like, no, bro. We leave when you do it. When you land, we leave.
That's so great.
So I play more of a supporter in there.
Yeah.
But maybe I feel the reason I never get good at it is because I was so not athletic because all my friends were super fast. They can jump high. They were flexible. I was a skinny, stiff kid that I can barely fire either back then. But it was just like, dude, you're telling me what to do, but it's not translating.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
they always getting better by a week. It would take me like a year to do something that took them a week. So I was like, you know what? I stay behind you boys. But it was fun. It was the
Right.
best. It was the best time.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many people that they base their value system, they base their life achievements around the fact that they skated in their youth. And maybe they didn't have success at it, but it just really cemented how they approach challenges, how they see the world. Like it's not a straight path, and you can do something that's different. And I feel like it's taught me so much about that, even just through my own experiences of parenting and being married and approaching the world. I learned it all from skating, where it's kind of renegade.
And no one really talks about it, because that what you say is very true. Like for me, I was like, I give it a try. I would really try to get good at it, but I just didn't. But you learn the pressure of like everybody watching you, everybody asking you to do something. It's like, come on, dude, don't be a pussy. Drop in the ramp. I was like, dude, I'm gonna fucking eat shit. Give it a try. Eat shit. But you don't realize that experience later on, when you gotta try what you really fell in love or what you're really good at. Those are just reps that you have in life of being exposed to the public eye of all your friends watching, people that doesn't know you watching. You're like, you know what? It does help.
Yeah.
And to me, that culture translates to everything I do.
Yep.
Like all my friends are still skating. Everybody I know around here skates at some point.
Yeah.
And even the way they dress translate. Like I'm still dressing the same like when I was like 14.
It's funny. I mean, I was introduced to you through my kids, Riley and Miles, and there was something about you that they were drawn to. Not just your fighting style, but just about you, and it totally makes sense that you grew up around skating. They could identify that.
That's what when we met, it was like, it's not like the typical introduction that you go slowly. We just like, we just act like we just knew each other.
Yeah.
We went straight. Like, you know what? Let's just be friends. We're friends.
Yeah.
We cut all the beginning and stuff, and
yeah.
It's amazing how to play it off like that, because by that we all get to surf together. We all get to hang out. The X Games. Watching that was also amazing. Like, I mean, I'm in mind for you. That's also great, right? Like, you did a crazy 900 at one point in time. Now these kids are doing
1080s, 1260s,
crazy stuff.
Now they're doing 900s in their run. I mean, it used to be reserved for a best trick event, and now it's like one wall, two walls, 900, boom, on to the next one. Do another. Yeah, you saw the Japanese kid can do three in a row.
That kid is gnarly, and he's like what, 9 years old?
Yeah.
That was crazy to me. Like there's no like fighting like this, like a weight division. This like 9-year-old against the guy that's been skating for 10 times that amount of time. And I mean, but gotta be special for you, because you make the road for all of that.
I'm just excited that I get to be here to see it. I mean, the idea that it's come this far in a relatively short time. I mean, I've been skating over 40 years, but to see how much appreciation there is now, and that a kid like that, his starting point is learning McTwists. And then 900s is now like, well, I got to that. He's not even a teenager yet. Like I spent 10 years of my life trying to figure out that trick.
That's great.
And destroyed myself many times. And when I finally got it, I was like, maybe that's the only one I'll ever do.
I mean, like, it's almost like there's no a limit for that. Like you just year by year just keep getting crazier and crazier. Like
but that is true of skateboarding in general. It always gets better. It always evolves. And you're never going to master all of it.
Never. On any way.
Anyway, yeah.
And that's why it gets so interesting, because I love surfing too, and I watch surf also my whole life, and you don't see as many crazy stuff in surfing like you will see in skating. I think in skating it gets a little more gnarlier, because there's many other things. I guess in a big wave there's also rocks and a reef, but concrete is still concrete everywhere.
Yeah.
There's some places that you got just water. You got a vest.
Concrete's always it's always hard.
That's what, like, when there's a debate to me and they ask me, I always go, it gotta be a little tougher, a skateboard.
Oh, I don't know. I never try to compare apples to oranges like that, but there are things that obviously you could try surfing and you can just bail out, or if it's not a good landing, you're just in the water.
Right.
If we get a bad landing, you wake up tomorrow. You know.
Who were posting just the other day? I was saying few KOs. It was Naya. Someone post like a highlight of falling, and it was like they were waking up with their eyes twisted. And I was like, oh god.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I hope to no longer do that, but I've had my share.
It's like the landing with the head is not cool.
No.
And there's some guys out there that goes without helmet.
Yeah.
Like I was telling Serge, like, dude, when he was competing his rounds or his hit, I was like, you were the only guy without helmet. That gotta give you some point for just for being a fucking crazy ass, because I was like, no helmet doing that type of jumps is like gnarly to me.
Yeah, it's concerning. I mean, I know the people that don't wear helmets and they have incredible ability and they have all the confidence, and it just takes one.
It definitely takes one. I think I would be that type of a skater. Mm-hmm. If I were to get that good, I would have been like probably the helmless guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Try my head.
Yeah. I've had plenty of concussions with and without a helmet, and they're much better to recover from with a helmet on.
I mean, there's a reason.
Yeah.
The helmet.
I mean, it saved my life a couple times, without question.
I can see that. Who were like your biggest rivalry growing up? Like the hardest competitions you got in terms of like when you were going to like that first and second place?
Oh yeah. Oh well, Christian Osoy for sure.
That was the battles, right?
The 80s, yeah. And Steve Caballero. I mean, at any event, it's probably going to be one of us, but
just
not
going for the number one.
Yeah. And it was a blast because it was so he especially Christian represented this whole other style and interest of skating, where it was like he looks like he's flowing and he's surfing and he's going higher than anyone. And it was like, yeah, and I'll be over here doing tricks, you know. And then people like had to choose their sides.
In the competition in YouTube are crazy. It's like a mini arena of like one side yelling one name, the other side
and
yelling.
people throwing shit. Like I got beer cans thrown at me during my run.
I saw those. That's why I brought that up.
It was just anarchy. But when you look back on it, it was just everyone was passionate. Like I love it. I love the idea that we had all that anarchy, because that's skateboarding. You know, it was not great to have that ire thrown at me, but it was just part of the scene, and we didn't think about it really. But and we were friends.
You can be friends in the skate for sure.
Yeah. And then I would say later on, like especially in the X Games era, then it was Andy McDonald, Bob Bergquist, Bucky Lassick. You know, that was the new era of ramp skaters. So they were my main competition. And then it was weird because I felt like I was still in the pocket. I was still skating good, but I was the older guy.
And that definitely gotta make you feel some way, because now you have to like almost like hold to your bone. Like I'm the main dog here, and you guys are coming.
No, you know what? I loved it because I lived through so many downturns of skating. So to see it come back through the X Games and to see it appreciated again, to see vert skating appreciated again, I was so hyped. I mean, yeah, I wanted to do well, but at the same time, I was like, I can't believe we're back.
That's true too.
Because vert skating was, by all accounts, finished in the early 90s. I mean, we were still doing it, but no one cared.
Because the street took over?
Street took over, yeah. You know, whenever they would put vert in a skate video back then, people would say, the street skaters that watch it, they go, oh, we got to hit the vert button. And the vert button is fast forward.
Oh, that's fucked up. So, well, that's a great point of view. Like that new generation brought it back. When in a way brought you back too.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And to see people like Bob take it to a whole new level, where doing stuff that we never imagined was possible, that was amazing to me. I mean, it was really like it was a golden era.
I mean, that's definitely good to know, because I've been seeing it for a long time, but hearing it from you give me like that other perspective of like how it came back and everything. And now it's huge.
It's huge. Yeah, vert skating still gets cast aside a little bit because now we have park skating, and park skating utilizes vert tricks, but not in the extreme way that we do them. Do you know what I mean?
It's almost, but it's a mix.
It's a mix, but it's more like for instance, and in the Olympics, the most spins you're going to see in the Olympics is a 540, right? On vert, we've got Guy Curry doing 1080s. We got twice as many spins over here on the vert ramp.
Right.
So there is a crossover, but there's so much focus on park because they're everywhere.
And they're easy to work on because there's not many pools out there or many like huge ramps.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So it's still getting kind of pushed aside, but I keep trying to, fly the flag and keep trying to like poke all the Olympic officials like, hey man, vert, you guys got to get vert. Yeah, like LA 28, let's go.
Like how many, like besides your big bird, like how many more there's out there?
There are a bunch that have been built recently and at skate parks. So there are dozens. I mean, they're not as many skate parks, not as many as skate parks, but now I would say there's probably twice as many as there were 5 years ago.
That's a good goal for that. Like how you deal with your foundation? Like is mainly skate parks?
Skate parks, yeah. We help to provide skate parks in underserved areas. So if a city or if a community wants to get a skate park in their area, they can hit us up and we'll give them guidance, we'll give them resources. If they meet all the criteria, we'll give them money. And I've been doing that over 25 years now.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's we've really come into our own now in terms of how effective we are as a foundation. And I mean, we're at almost 1,000 skate parks open across all the U.S.
That's amazing. There's how many here in California?
Oh, I can't.
A lot,
yeah. And not all of them are ones that we helped, but we've helped quite a few.
In Ecuador, the skateboards are like beat up. There's
sure,
like holes everywhere, and people get in trouble for skating. Skating in Ecuador is like almost like
we should do something.
That's why I bring it up because like I saw the other day on the news, this guy was skating in a skate park and they called the cops and they pretty much treat him like he was like selling drugs. And I was like, I make a comment like, that's not right. Like let this guy, because there's a pretty big skate community out there.
Yeah,
like everybody I know is still skating up there. So
right, yeah. With the challenge with having a foundation or nonprofit is if we do international work, we have to do it through other charities because we can't just go to a country and say we're going to do a thing because we're not established there, we're not incorporated there. So, for instance, if you were working with a foundation in Venezuela and they're going to do a park, we could, do the funding through them and make it happen. But I would love to do that. That'd be amazing. We've done a few like that. We did one in South Africa. We did one in Cambodia. We're doing one in Jordan.
Oh wow! So you guys are going big.
Yeah, but as long as we can do it through another provider.
I can find in Ecuador someone that will willing to do that because that'd
be so sick.
That would definitely take a lot of kids out of trouble, out of the streets, and just hey, you can ride a skateboard.
Yeah.
Any day. I ride my skateboard to my jiu-jitsu gym when I was a kid. Like, a couple of these.
Yeah.
And then I would skateboard the rest. And it's like, it would take your mind away from doing bullshit. Like, every time we were like thinking to do stupid shit, it's like, let's go to the little. We have this park, we call it the worm. The little worm. It was like a little half pipe, but it was like a full circle. We would spend like. Like
what
10
city?
hours in Guayaquil.
Okay.
I moved there when I grew up. I'm from Chone, a little town, but it's just farms.
So if we were to do one in Ecuador, what city would you think it would be in?
I think Guayaquil or Quito. Quito have a big skate community too.
Okay.
And they actually have there's something called El Parque de la Carolina, like a Carolina Park, and they have this huge it goes underneath this little how you call those?
Overpass.
Yeah, but it's I run there when I go back home and everybody's skating there. So either
why they do that? Why the skate parks got overpasses?
Why?
Because it's the worst real estate. because it's like no one wants to live there. So that's where they
wow.
allow skate parks to happen. Because there's so many like that. When I went to Colombia, the best skate park is right on an overpass.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we'll take what we can get.
I feel it, that one is really fun. I skated that one before, and it's super fun. But also, you will hit the ground so many times because there's so many holes that no one patched.
Yeah, I mean I would love to do something like that. And I said Venezuela earlier. Sorry, I had Venezuela on the mind from a surf thing.
Same flag. It's all good. Similar flag.
That's why I got confused.
Yeah, it's the three colors. They don't.
Yeah.
We have a sign in the middle, but I mean it's all good.
That'd be so sick.
That'd be amazing.
I know it's hard for you to go back to Ecuador. You told me the stories, but
No,
it'd be fun.
It would be super fun.
Yeah.
If we go and skate there, it will be amazing.
Yeah, man, let's go. I love going new places.
I mean, Ecuador is amazing. The food, we can go surf.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be going with the guy with the keys to the city.
Yeah, we definitely got that. We definitely got
The
that.
Tom Cruise of Ecuador.
Yeah.
That'll be amazing. Make a little clip for the Bear House Boys.
Dude, that'd be great.
Yeah, because there's
So
in Guayaquil, there's one near the mall. There's one that we used to skate a lot there, and it's a public one, and I have like a bunch of like half pipes, a little bowl, a bunch of rails. It's like a full on street, but there's one like not a big pipe, but it's big enough.
Mm-hmm.
And that one, I never land that one. That one
Yeah.
I fall all the time. But there's one in the middle that they have like instead of have the rail have used like a little easy down.
Yeah.
I still eating shit on that one.
Oh,
all
you're
the
trying to
time.
grind it?
No, I try to like like instead of like just dropping it from like the
Yeah.
for the where people grind, just there's like a small, just like an easy go down
Oh, I see. Yeah, we call it a waterfall.
waterfall.
Yeah.
Even that one is still falling.
Oh,
forward.
waterfalls are deadly, man.
It almost worse, right?
Yeah, they could be bad. Yeah.
This
Yeah.
one is really bad because
Yeah.
I never make it. They was like, "Come on, dude." I'm like, "Bro, I already fall like 7 times. My elbows are swollen. I don't want to go. We don't have any pads growing up.
Oh, yeah.
There's no knee pads and no elbow pads.
Yeah.
I don't even think there's a skate shop out there.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
See, we gotta change all that.
Making a sport great again.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Tony, how did you stay motivated to keep skating when it was so unpopular? Sorry, I can't see you, but like, because you had that moment.
You know what? My motivation to skate was never popularity. I just loved doing it. So I started when it wasn't even popular. So to be motivated to keep skating, that just didn't, the public perception or the popularity wasn't the motivating factor.
It was just getting
In fact,
better.
sometimes that was more of a distraction because then there was like more pressures that went with that and more demands. And it was like, dude, I just want to have fun. I just want to go learn tricks.
That's a good thing about other sports. Like, they're fun to do.
Yeah.
Like, I feel when I gotta do my stuff, it's like, it's never fun. I'm like, I want to have fun, but there's no fun on it. It's just like,
That would seem like a hard one to truly enjoy.
there's no enjoyment.
To either beat people up or get beaten up.
They
I mean,
all-
it's a challenge and it's intense.
I feel the only enjoyment is when it's done.
Yeah.
Once it's done, you're like, oh, that wasn't that hard. I want to do it again.
Yeah.
Then you do it again, you're like, oh God, what I'm doing here.
When you have a fight, do you judge yourself afterwards? Like, I should have done this, should have done that.
Every single one.
Every single one.
Even when you win, you're like,
Yeah, I know.
There's like, oh, this could be better, or this could be a boy, but
Yeah. No, I did the same thing. Like, even if I won an event, I was like, man, I should have done this one trick.
yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? Like,
I told myself I fight with myself every single time. It's just like, when you're that competitive, it's like there's no good way. Even when things go well, but
yeah.
you still finding the issue.
Right.
But I guess that's what pushes to make you better.
No, for sure. Yeah, I mean, if you're so in pursuit of perfection, it's just never going to happen. So you're always driven to keep getting
going
better, keep going. Yeah.
When you start, what was the first biggest sponsor that made you like go like, wow, now I'm a pro skater?
Oh, when I got on the Bones Brigade.
That was the
yeah.
main
I
one.
wasn't pro, but the fact that they wanted me on the team, that was the team. That was Steve Caballero, Mike McGill, Rodney Mullen, Ray Bones Rodriguez, the guy that was the wheels were named after, Alan Gelfand, who invented the Ollie. That was their team.
That's
And
a
they're
big
like, and I'm just this little kid, you know, that people make fun of. And it's like, hey, you want to work for Pal? Like, what?
Me?
You talk? You sure you're talking to me? Yeah. So for sure, and also that really helped me in terms of my self-confidence, because then it was like, oh, whatever I'm doing is working,
It's going
and I'm going to go hard into that now.
That's a good thing, because now you have this platform that's like, if they're looking for me, I'm doing something. So you just went
For sure.
all in.
Yeah. But it was hard. I mean, it was like, because I got to step up.
Right.
You know,
that too.
I'm going to, like, we're all in the car. I'm going to the competition with Mike McGill and Steve Caballero. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, I need to perform.
That's when the pressure comes.
Yeah, for sure. And it helped. It helped a lot.
Now eyes are on you. You just gotta throw wood in the fire.
Yeah.
And then how long from those times to like how the game come out? Because the game is something
that's a long time. But so the Bones Brigade years were like 1981 to, for me, 1991. That was my run on the Bones Brigade team. And then 92, I started Birdhouse, and that's when I started my own company. Skated all through those years, just rode the waves of popularity. And then it was the game idea, and my first meeting happened in 1998.
for the game.
For the game, yeah.
And like how does it like back then you probably didn't thought like this is gonna go crazy huge.
No.
It just happened.
I love video games. I played all the games as a kid, you know, starting with Pac-Man, Missile Command, Q*bert, all that stuff. And then I saw the evolution of skate games through that, in terms of like 720 was the first arcade game. Then they had Skate or Die for Nintendo 64, or for Commodore 64. And then they had Top Skater, which is a stand-up game. Those are the only real skate games that were happening. And so when they asked me about doing a game, I was like, yeah, I want to do it, but it's just going to be for skateboarders, because we already know that skate games are not popular.
Everybody played that.
No, I know, but I mean that was a byproduct
Right.
of me really committing myself to doing it the best I could. I mean, when they first approached me, I was like, I'm all in. Like, I want to, you send me the game every week, and I'll make comments, and I'll do whatever I can, and I'll get all the riders, we'll get the tricks, we'll get the locations. Like, everything about that was what I wanted to do, what I wanted to at least provide to hardcore skaters. And then once it came out, it started getting really good reviews, and people beyond skating started to enjoy it. And then almost immediately they said, "Oh, we're doing number 2." I'm like, we're doing number 2.
Like, I never play. Like, my brother play he had every console that he played everything. It doesn't matter, Mario Bros, Street Fighter, FIFA. I was never into it. Even that I started surfing before anything.
Yeah.
Even the surfer, he have every game. I was never interested.
The Kelly Slater game?
Everyone.
That game was sick.
That one was sick.
Yeah.
But there was a different one before that one.
That was bad. California Games.
Yeah, it was not good.
No.
So when the skate one came, from being against, I never play. It was like every day. But it was just to me the best thing was the music going.
Oh, that's cool.
The music get you going all day.
Mm-hmm.
And then like you go to the cities and you go to the street, and then like the cops would tell you like not to skate. Like, the whole thing was my thing. And as of today, I still play nothing. I don't even have a console back home. But I was telling my wife the other day, can you look on eBay or something if there's games or anything available? Because I want to get back to it. But like, that was the only one I played. But I remember back then, even the guys in school that didn't skate or play sports, or the real math nerds, they were playing the skate game. That thing just went.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely. It exceeded all expectations for sure, and changed my life completely. I mean, that was my. I was already having a hard time keeping up the schedule and competing, and I was getting old. I mean, I was in my 30s, but I was getting older in terms of like, do I want to keep the schedule going? And I can't keep trying to do this competition schedule is so crazy. And then when the game came out, it was like, oh yes, I don't have to compete. Like
One-headed.
Yeah. What's that?
One-headed.
Yeah. Well, it was just more like I have an exit strategy now, and I can do more exhibition type of skating. I can explore other opportunities because the game was killing it, and it was just more like that was the silver lining to me to get out of contests.
Because that would take all the pressure about winning, and now you can do it again for fun. Now you can. Now
Basically. I mean, so much of your skating success back then was based on competition. Because that's where you get your prize money. That's where people still know your name. That's where, and so if you're in it, you've got to just keep at it. And then when the game came out, it was like, oh, I can do so many other things now.
That's a relief for sure. Because now you don't have to think about one thing. Now you're like, you can.
No, I mean that's when we did our tour, the Boom Boom Huck Jam tour. I was able to do a lot more with Birdhouse and help to foster more skaters and help their careers. I mean, it changed everything.
Give avenue to other people to get better too.
Yeah.
And get to the top of the line. And then the participations like on like when you went to Rocket Power or you were on the season.
Oh yeah, all that stuff. I mean, that all came from the game.
After.
For sure, but people knew my name. Yeah, maybe from my skate success, but mostly from the video game. And then I got to do The Simpsons. I got to do Rocket Power. Like,
that's amazing. How that came off?
Rocket Power?
Yeah.
They just called me.
That was the one show
It's funny because I knew of the show, but my kids weren't really of that age. So I wasn't seeing it on TV that much. But I knew, like, oh, they made this show about these kids at a skate park, and they surf and they BMX and they do everything, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. It sounds kind of like a novelty. And then when they asked me to do an episode, that's when I realized how big that show is.
It's huge.
Huge.
I grew up that Hey Arnold, like to me, those were like number one. I mean, I was more a Nickelodeon guy than a Cartoon Network guy.
Yeah.
So like that came.
So are my kids, but I just, like I said, none of them were of that age at the time, so I didn't even know that it was such a thing. Yeah.
That makes sense. That came before The Simpsons or after?
After.
So The Simpsons were first.
Simpsons, yeah. Simpsons was like 2001 maybe?
Yeah, so that was before.
Yeah.
How was that one?
That was amazing. That was
being in The Simpsons is crazy.
Dude, that's still one of my favorite things ever.
I mean, just being one of the yellow people in there, it must be so cool.
Oh yeah, and the idea that they based this episode kind of around me and Bart was crazy. I just thought that would be like a cameo, like, hey, there's Tony Hawk. Hey, what's up? You know, I thought that was it.
No, it was a whole thing.
No, it's you and Blink-182, and you're gonna be like a surrogate dad to Bart. It was crazy. To this day, I get quoted anywhere I go in South America. Un gran tipo, Tony Hawk.
Because we're watching in Spanish. All those cartoons, I cannot watch them in English. I can watch every movie in English, but if I'm watching cartoon with my kids, I'm like, dude, put that shit in Spanish. I can't watch that in English because my son watch stuff in English, and I'm like, no, dude, what? It's way better. It's like, no, Dad, I don't understand.
No, I mean, I learned through that the Spanish translation of The Simpsons is just as funny.
Oh, it is. It is. Because I tried both ways, and if I don't find it in Spanish, I'm not watching it because it's not funny to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm still watching all of those things, but I'm like, they have to be in Spanish.
Yeah.
Like I watch in English, and I'm just like, they don't make me laugh. Like South Park, all these things. I'm like, I get it, but I can watch comedy here in English. I can watch all the movies in English, but cartoons, they have to be in Spanish.
That's really cool. Hey, like I said, I'm honored that people still know what it is, but I have learned through being on there how important it is in Latin America.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
Over there is huge. Seeing some Rocket Power is huge.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like free for everybody. Like, I mean, you can cable over there. It's not like here. There's like really cheap cable. There's like fancy cable, but they have the same. You're missing like few channels, but doesn't matter. I mean, the at least important ones, I watch them. Even when I was back in a farm, there were some cartoons up there on the little antenna on the roof.
That's so wild.
I mean, they're there. Like I remember watching Simpsons on the farm.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like a crooked antenna. And
Yeah,
then on
yeah,
the
yeah,
roof, they
yeah.
have like a hanger.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I lived through those years. Yeah.
They go through. I
Yeah.
mean, Simpsons get through that thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool because there's other countries that you don't have that.
Right.
You don't have the crooked antenna. So
Yeah.
I'm glad we got some of that.
Yeah, I remember when cable was introduced. When I was bugging my dad, we gotta get cable, and he watched so much TV that he finally got it.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't. I don't. When was it? We didn't have cable like early on.
I mean, this would be late 70s, early 80s, but before that was antenna, you know,
And then
4 channels maybe.
And you gotta
Yeah.
go like
Yeah, and like, just, okay, move the antenna. Like, okay, I got it. Keep it there.
and don't move it.
Yeah, don't move it, yeah.
Whoever touched that TV was a
Yeah.
problem. Because I love watching Walker Ranger of Texas, and it was every Tuesday.
Yeah.
And my brother hated it because he wanted to watch WWE,
Oh yeah.
and it was a
war.
fist fight.
It was a
I was
war,
like,
yeah.
dude, Walker is for men. WWE is fake. He's like, dude, I kicked your ass, and he's older than me. So I was like, bro, let's fucking watch Walker. So I would have to like he will beat my ass, and I would have to go to my dad's room and beg him, can we watch Walker? It's like, sure, put your Walker.
Wow.
You have to go like fucking.
That's some core memory.
It was a fight because he loved the fuck. Hated WWE.
Yeah.
I was like, he's fake, dude. And he would like do the move.
How do you feel about it now?
Still, I mean, it's not like a real fight, but they do crazy shit.
Yeah, they get rocked.
They get caught for real.
Yeah.
They get broken bones.
Yeah.
But it's like being in the circus.
Sure.
I'd rather be in the circus than being WWE. I would do
Really?
it.
Yeah.
But like I grew up like back there in Ecuador, these people from around South America, they would like travel like real gypsies with like tigers and all this shit. And they would go like country from country like driving.
Yeah.
And they literally just put a huge tent, and it was like 50 cents to get
Right.
in. And they would do like crazy shit. Like they will ask people from the crowd to like go behind this like wood door, and they say like stay right there, don't move. And they would throw the biggest knife at you, and they would land next to you. And I
my
always
God.
volunteer. I was like, me, take me.
Wow.
And I would get like behind the door, and there's like this like silhouette of a human that's like, do not move. And as a kid, I was like, are you sure? But no waiver,
No, of course
no
not.
paramedics. I was like, they could miss.
Yeah. Yeah.
They could, and I was just like, and I will see that blade just going zoom, zoom, and I was like, holy shit. And then the next year they come back again.
That's amazing.
Who wanna volunteer to go on the clown shoulders on the little like the one tire thing?
Yeah.
And you have to cross on this like this much of a
Oh,
wood.
yep.
And I was an asshole, so I started moving on top of the guy,
Oh no.
and the guy fell.
Oh.
And I eat shit.
Oh no.
That guy literally went like, get the fuck out of here. I was like,
You fucked up the circus.
I was like, dude, I make people laugh. You should be giving me credit, because the whole thing was laughing. And then my mom was like, you know what? You're not going to the street. They will kill you.
Yeah.
Like they're street people.
Oh yeah, they're not. It's not family friendly. The group.
Oh no.
No.
Like, but out of the whole audience, I was the only asshole. Like, I want to do it.
That's
And
so
then-
great.
I think my mom used to send me like with my aunt or something, because my parents don't want to go to that thing. That was like, I was like, I love it. That so between that and WWE, I think I moved with the gypsies.
Understood. Got it. Yeah.
And they don't have those things here. Like they have circus here, but that's like the hardcore circus.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the. You know, it feels like there's so many historical either series or documentaries about those types of traveling circuses that went through the U.S., especially because it was just sketchy.
No, they
Everything
are.
was sketchy.
They had like, I remember the one time they had this like huge round metal ball, and there was 3 guys with like
motorcycles.
motocross,
Yeah,
and they were going like one this way, one
yeah.
this way,
That
and
was
they were,
always wild.
and they were going, and it's as big as this little room.
Yeah,
Like it wasn't too much space,
yeah,
and they were going like boom, boom, and I was like, whoa, I want to do that.
yeah,
Like when I was a kid, I was like, I want to be part of that.
yeah.
And I'm like, Dad, can I get a motorcycle? No, you will die. I was like, no, but those guys, they're dressed like a clown, no helmet. I was like, that sounds just about right. But my dreams didn't fulfill back then.
Yeah, I've done a couple of things with WWE wrestlers. They're so gnarly.
They're huge.
They're huge. Yeah. I mean, the ones that I worked with aren't, but they're the toughest.
And
They
they really
eat
hurt.
shit, yeah.
They hurt each other for real.
Yeah.
Like when I was
Yeah,
a kid, I
just did a thing with Darby Allin actually, because he broke his foot, and he wanted to do something with me, like do a charity fundraiser, but he got sidetracked because he got hurt. So he came to my ramp and put his broken foot out on the deck, and then I did a hand plant on it.
that's sick.
It was cool.
So like he was on top of the ramp, but like
With his foot laying down with his foot out, and then I did a hand plant invert on his foot with all my weight
on the broken foot.
on the broken foot. Yeah.
Wow,
And then
that's real.
he's selling that as a photo to raise for charity.
That hurt.
Yeah.
Did he scream or anything?
No.
But you went on the bad foot.
On the bad foot. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, those guys are super gnarly.
No, they do crazy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, they got, what was the name of the guy with the mask and the sock in the hand?
Mankind.
Yeah, man. I mean, I
Yeah.
watched a little bit. I didn't hate it. It was
Yeah.
just at the same time with
Yeah.
Walker. So
Yeah.
I gotta pick my.
That's so.
I love Chuck Norris, so I gotta pick him. That's like ahead of Bruce Lee
Yeah.
for me. That is Chuck Norris #1. But they were get really hurt. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think it's fake. It was just not my thing at the moment.
Right. We had the Undertaker on our podcast, and he was telling us about all of his injuries, especially during the years where they didn't have any medical attention.
Oh, they were like
You
keep
know,
going, all bleeding
Just
and
go,
shit.
yeah, just go. What do you mean? We got a show tomorrow night. Like, but my tendon's disconnected, and it's just like, figure it out.
When they would put the metal cage on top of the ring
Yeah.
and they jump from the top,
Yeah.
you don't fake those fucking
No.
jumps. No,
No.
they're real.
Yeah.
Like I would do it, especially now.
I'm sure. Yeah.
I don't know how if I would jump.
How
from
would
the
that
top.
be for you to choreograph fights?
I think it would be easier to choreograph what they do than an actual fight.
I see.
Because like when you're fighting, if you know when they step in the ground and they
Yeah.
pretend they punch, it's gonna look pretty fake. I think you can choreograph grappling. You can suplex me, throw me on my neck, and we both roll.
Right.
A submission can be very choreographed, like taking a heel hook or a choke. But it's gonna be hard to fake me punching you full blast in the face.
Yeah.
But I think I can take
Yeah.
someone jumping on my back and throw me off the ring.
You know, maybe your future's as a stuntman.
I would love to do shit
Yeah.
like that. Anything that is getting close to getting hurt, I will sign
Yeah.
up for.
I've had a few things where I did stunt work in movies, but I was playing myself, and then they go, oh well, we're gonna do this thing where you fall and break through this table, and I was like, sweet. I go, oh, we already shot it with a stunt double. I was, you got a stunt double for me?
So they
What are you
didn't
talking
let
about? Yeah, and then I was like, I skateboard. I want to do the stunts.
Would you fall with a skateboard or just yourself flying?
No, that one was just with myself flying. But there was another one where it was supposed to be to go through a window, and they had a stuntman, and I was like, dude, I want to do it. They go, we're
It's
going to shoot
fun.
it twice. So we're going to shoot one with him. We'll shoot one with you. And I was like, yes.
Those things are really fun.
Yeah.
I would love to do that type of stuff. Like anything just flying through something is cool.
But there's some irony in being hired as a skateboarder, and they're like, all right, so we're going to get you a stunt double. Like, what are you talking about?
Like you already hired me.
Yeah, you hired me. I'm ready for stunts.
Yeah, but I'm guessing most people that goes into a movie, they don't want to do crazy shit.
Actors, no.
Like-
Oh man, we had to teach. I've had to teach a couple actors to skate that did not want to, and
Exactly.
were mad. And
Oh,
I'm
really?
and I'm like, dude, let's just get through this.
They didn't
You know,
want to
like-
do nothing that can
Yeah,
help
like
them.
I told them I do not skate, and I knew this was gonna happen, and I was like, all right, but let's make the best of it.
Just get on top.
Yeah, like I got you. I'll hold you. You're gonna make it. You're gonna survive. But
No,
and they're
yeah.
expecting me to teach you, so let's do it.
And there's no one can teach you better than you.
I would hope so, but yeah, it got weird.
That's
Yeah.
shit. I will be like, can I get an extra class?
Yeah. Yeah. You know who was the coolest about that was Christian Slater.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had to teach him how to skate for Gleaming the Cube, and he was all in.
That's a great actor.
Yeah, and he was like, let's go. Like we're skating through schoolyards, you know, and it's like he had some technique he had to learn, and he learned it, and then we still had time left, and he's like, let's go cruise.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
let's go.
That's amazing. I mean, as of today, I want to get a little ramp in the house just to. I mean, I keep saying for my kids, but it's for me.
Yeah.
Like I tell everybody, yeah, I want to build something for my kids, and I would love to put time on it, but a small ramp at home it's
Yeah.
way more safer than going to the skate park.
Yeah.
Because last time I went to the skate park, I was going very easy, taking my time, and this guy
Yeah.
was flying towards me,
Yeah,
hit
that's
me,
true, yeah.
told me to go and fuck myself, and I was like, okay, I got you. I'm leaving. Don't worry. He's like, you're my fucking way. I'm like, bro, there's like 1,000 people here.
Yeah.
No one is on your way.
Well, the secret, and you should build a ramp, but the secret is to go to the skate park early.
Because they all wake up hungover.
Yeah, or they just don't. You know, they don't. They go after school or they whatever, and
That's true.
you go early, and it's either old dudes like guys my age trying to relearn how to skate, or it's moms with little kids,
I'm gonna do that.
and so no one's intimidating each other.
I'm gonna drop my kids,
Yeah,
get my skate,
there you
and
go.
go by myself.
Yeah, before like 10 a.m. You're good.
I can do that.
Yeah.
It's normally train around 10, and it's good cardio.
Yeah,
You,
yeah,
You skate for 20 minutes, you're
Oh,
pulling
yeah.
sweat.
for sure.
Maybe good for weight cuts. I
Yeah.
might need some elbow patches just in case.
I don't know if you're that close to a fight. I'm not recommending going to skate.
I mean, before a fight, we do anything to sweat
Yeah.
extra.
Okay.
Because the weight could get so messed up that you're like, anything that, like, when I'm close to the fight, I walk the dog like 4 times a day.
Yeah.
So I can just like get a little
Anything.
extra
Yeah,
weight
yeah,
out
yeah.
of me.
Wow.
But if I skate for 20 minutes,
Yeah.
I don't have to
True.
take the dog. Sometimes the dog is like, dude, really? I'm like, come on. I don't want to walk by myself.
Yeah.
Come on. He's like, on the third, fourth walk, he's like, bro, fuck off. I'm like, you want to go? He's like, no, dude. He just looked at me like, really? Again? But weight cuts are awful. That's the good about other sports. There's no weight classes.
Right.
You just,
Yeah.
you can eat wherever.
Obviously, in skating, when we're competing against 9-year-olds.
That's crazy. It is the future. There's more
Yeah.
kids like this Japanese kid.
Oh yeah.
Probably like 1,000.
So many. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes when I see, I like to drive at the skate park, and when I see the baby ones just flying, I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like,
And just in terms of the international aspect, I mean, now we've got a pro from Colombia, we got a pro from Venezuela, we got a pro from Puerto Rico. You know, like it's all.
yeah, like
Coming
I
back.
saw the guy from Colombia in the X Games.
Yeah.
He told something to someone else like, and he was competing, and I was like, yo, you speak Spanish?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I do. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So that means it is expanding.
Yeah, for sure.
It's going like, it's going deeper and deeper, because I forget his name, but he's really good.
Yeah.
So like now,
Giancarlo, I think so.
he was
from
competing in
Colombia?
the street. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was on the street side. He was. I was few guys that I know that were on that heat, and then he told something to his friend, and I was like, "Oh, you speak closer to my country," and I went right away. Colombia? It's like, yeah. I'm like,
That's sick.
my man. So like, it is expanding a lot lately.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
But still, Japan, Australia, U.S., Brazil, like those are
The main one.
Yeah.
The guy from Brazil that I saw live, it was Barroso.
Pedro Barros.
Pedro. He's great.
He's sick. He has one speed.
Oh, he's on pre-workout mode.
Yeah.
I like that aggressive. I was like, that guy just saying fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Yeah. He was in
going.
the Olympics too. He got 4th.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
No, he was going crazy. I mean, I'm so glad I went to this exit because I was like, growing up, watching it.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I loved the BMX.
Mm-hmm.
So I would find that it was like 3 a.m. in order to find it
Yeah.
out. Watching, I was like, this is very cool. But now being live and going to all the stations, motocross, skate, bird, I was like, took me 31 years, but finally I get to see this live. It was amazing.
It was great to have you there.
It was great.
We were stoked.
Well, thanks for making this happen, man.
Yeah, thank
really
you. That was
appreciate
fun,
you.
man. And thanks for having Riley on too.
I mean,
He had a blast.
It was a great conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, what I was asking him was like, my main question was like, how hard is for you to be skating and being a pro and being Tony's son?
Yeah.
That must be a little challenging for anyone.
I think it was earlier in his success, but then he found his own way. He really created his own style, and I mean, some people don't even know he's my kid. They're just like, oh, that guy rips.
Oh, he rips.
Yeah.
He rips for sure.
Tony, real quick, I got a question for you. How have you seen the skate industry change? And you mentioned that like one of the perks of the video game was that you could then start sort of helping the younger kids that were trying to break in. Like, what advice would you give to a younger kid trying to break in and become known these days?
I think if I were to give any advice these days, it's just to know your strengths, but also explore all sides of skating. Maybe you're really good at skating rails, but try everything. And it's only going to benefit you in the future, because when people think of skating, they don't think of these sort of niche types of skaters. They think like, hey, that's a pro skater. We're going to hire him to come do an event, and they're going to throw whatever at you. And if you're better prepared, that's just more like if you're trying to make a living at it. But I think also that the path to success in skating is rarely straight. And if you want to have any success or to find a way to stay in the skate industry, maybe it's through doing video, maybe it's through doing graphics, maybe it's more business, but you'll still be in the mix. And so just don't rely on or don't always be stuck on, I'm going to be a pro skater, I'm going to make it big.
Yeah.
And if you are going to be a pro skater, just know that you're going to have to keep getting better at it, because you're only as good as your last big trick, big video part, big event, and people forget about it fast.
That's a great advice for me too, in my industry.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you. Thanks, you guys.
Appreciate you.